family and friends, we come into the sanctuary this day on a day we never wanted to make or meet or share. But as it is, we must gather and we must accomplish what we are called to do, which is to remember. The Talmud teaches there are two kinds of tears: tears of smoke that sting our eyes because the sadness is so deep and so real, but also tears of fruit, the kind that we shed because the memories are so sweet and so joyful. And if we can balance the two together on this day and in days to come, perhaps we can retrieve from death all that is so dear and enduring for all of us. As we prepare ourselves for this hour, please take a moment to silence your cell phones, and as you do, we'll invite Cantor Feibusch to open for us with a song.
Shamayim, Shamayim, Va'aretz, Ayitein, Lamot Raglecha, Shomer Yisrael, Adonai Shomrecha, Adonai Tzilcha al yad yeminecha, Yomam Hashemesh lo yakeka, ve'areach balayla. Adonai yishmorcha mikol ra, yishmor et nafshecha. Adonai yishmor tziltzecha uvoecha me'ata
We read from Psalms. O God, what are we that you have regard for us? What are we that you are mindful of us? We are like a breath. Our days are like a passing shadow. We come in the morning, like young grass that shoots up renewed, and in the evening fades and withers. You cause us to turn to dust, saying, "Return, O mortal creatures. Would that we were wise, that we understood where we are going. For when we die, we carry nothing away. Our glory does not accompany us. Mark the wholehearted and behold the upright. They shall have peace." Death has taken our dearest Dede Weil, and in a world that has been darkened around us, we grieve. In our silent moments, we feel our deepest sadness, and in our tears there is loneliness. When we feel lost in our sorrow, may we always find the company of this circle of family and dearest friends. Hear us, God, this day, and be with us. For Dede's love that united us in life and which death cannot sever. For her companionship that we shared along life's way and which continues through the tenderness of memory. For the gifts of her heart and mind that brought us so much joy and happiness and is now our precious remembrance. For all these and so much more, we give our thanks to God.
We continue now with the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. In this moment, we reflect and begin to anticipate the different seasons and times throughout the year when Dede's presence will especially be with us. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we'll remember her. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we'll remember her. In the opening of buds and in the rebirth of spring, we'll remember her. In the rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we'll remember her. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we'll remember her. When we are weary and in need of strength, we'll remember her. When we are lost and sick at heart, we'll remember her. When we have joys we yearn to share, we'll remember her. So long as we live, she too shall live, for she is now a part of us as we remember her. Our tradition teaches and guides us well with a very beautiful reading, a teaching, often that we share at the beginning of our year, reminding us to mark each place and stage throughout life. Birth is a beginning, and death a destination, but life is a journey, a going, a growing from stage to stage, from childhood to maturity and youth to age, from innocence to awareness and ignorance to knowing, from foolishness to discretion, and then perhaps to wisdom, from weakness to strength or strength to weakness, and often back again, from health to sickness, and back, we pray, to health again, from offense to forgiveness, from loneliness to love, from joy to gratitude, from pain to compassion, and grief to understanding, from fear to faith, from defeat to defeat to defeat, until looking backward or ahead, we see that victory lies not at some high place along the way, but in having made the journey, stage by stage, a sacred pilgrimage. Birth is a beginning, and death a destination, but life is a journey, a sacred pilgrimage, made stage by stage, from birth to death, to life everlasting.
There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light. Long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we love. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us as we live our days. These are the ways we remember. We remember as we live our days. These are the ways we remember. We remember. יש כוכבים שאורם מגיע ארצה, רק כאשר הם עצמם עבדו ואינם. יש אנשים שזיו זכרם מאיר, כאשר הם עצמם אינם עוד בתוכנו. אורות אלה המבהיקים בחשכת הליל, הם שמראים לאדם את הדרך, את הדרך. הם שמראים לאדם את הדרך, את הדרך. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. We remember as we live our days. These are the ways we remember. We remember. We remember. We remember.
Our psalms and beautiful songs help us to appreciate what it means when the sweeping of the generations and the end of an era comes our way. Death and sorrow are not strangers to any of us. and the centuries have taught us that a good name endures beyond the grave. There is also strength to be found in faith. Long ago, Job said, God has given, God has taken away. Blessed be the name of God. And so today we acknowledge, yes, God, you have given. You gave us a loved one, and she will not be forgotten. For all that was good and enduring in her life, we offer the deepest thanks of our hearts. And yes, God, you have taken away. We pray for the strength to turn our broken hearts into an altar of trust before which we acknowledge your sovereignty and your love, as we have learned to say, blessed be the name of God, now and forever. On this day, we gather as family and friends, especially mourning this day, Susie Miller, Fran Gordon Lichtenstein, Dede's children, Stephen and Debbie, Ronnie, Lenora, Lauren and Jeff, her grandchildren, Stephen Jr., Brooke, Lindsay, McKenna, Ronnie, Miller, Megan and David, Emma, Buddy, Courtney, and Candace. And we count among them all of us who are friends, like family. And take a good look at the card you were given when you entered the sanctuary. The picture of Connie and Dede side by side is exactly how we knew them. It's also how we'll always remember them. She and Connie were sewn at the hip with love for each other and a life of fun. Dede saw her life like a highway built just for her. There was plenty of room for you to join her on it, but you had better be behind her, because she knew that the shortest distance between 2 points was a straight line, and Dede moved fast. She was a busy mother while Connie was at work. Her best room in the house was not the kitchen, but her children didn't mind the housekeeper's meals and their favorite store-bought meals. A platter of store-bought fried chicken could be made to look pretty, and one could still serve it with pride. Dede's children, Steve and Ronnie and Lorden, had their mother's love. The boys were older. Their bedrooms were upstairs, and somehow whatever happened there was a mystery. And that's probably best even now. Lauren's room was downstairs and closer to her parents. For some reason, the boys' rules were easier. Even if Dede tried to punish or ground them, it lasted for about as long as they thought was reasonable. I think Dede just wanted to get on with her day. Too much fuss could really spoil a good day's plan. But Dede's children remember her for the best reasons. They remember all the different circles of her friends. There were Jewish friends and non-Jewish friends. There were working out friends, Houstonian friends, and other club friends, and neighborhood friends. The list goes on and on. In her life, Dede made friends and always asked after them. If she heard about her friends' children once, she knew to ask about them again. She might not remember all their names or even one of their names, but she knew you had a nice conversation in the past, and so you must have one in the present. Dede was also her children's friend's favorite neighborhood mom. She was the best source of advice, guidance, and free food. They didn't call her Mrs. Weil, they called her Mame, which is a name she chose for herself. A lot like Mame from the movies, Dede was a force who paved the way for her family to be the best they could be. When her children married, she welcomed with open arms Deborah, Lenora, and Jeff. And as long as they lived in Houston and all her children were nearby, she was happy and the world was right for Dede. And when the grandchildren came, she and Connie were blessed many times over. Dede pointed the direction for Connie to go, and together they went to every one of their ball games, soccer matches, and theater productions. There were no Olympic stars or Tony winners among them, but that wasn't the point. Dede had to see for herself how her extra blessings were growing. She was the one who sat on the edge of her seat, proud as can be, and seeing in her own eyes the stars they were becoming. She even traded in her car for one of the first Chrysler minivans. Written up in the Wall Street Journal, she made the news for being a modern grandmother who used her wood-paneled minivan to ferry all her kids to and from their activities. That's why her grandchildren adored her. There was nothing they could do wrong, literally. That's not to say that they didn't, but again, some fuss just ruined an otherwise good day. They all got past it and looked forward to more. When they grew up and called from college, she asked all about them. If they asked about her, she'd masterfully turn around the conversation to talk about them. And then she'd take pride in telling all of her friends about all of their wonderful achievements. Every day, her stars. For her family, her love filled the air they breathed, the food they ate, the fun they had, and the memories they created. It's difficult to describe how ever-present and engaged she was, but you can see evidence of it in their words, which you'll hear in a moment. And if you were, and I know that you were, a part of Dede's orbit, then you followed a path of sheer delight and fun. If you traveled with Dede and Connie, then you saw magnificent sights, ate delicious foods without onions, and treated yourselves to times and places that were, as she might have put it, out of this world. Coming home wasn't just about unpacking. It was about savoring memories made with you, her friends. For Dede, home was always Houston. She engaged in Houston's art and culture and supported them generously. She loved Beth Israel too. She loved the history of Beth Israel. This place held her family's blessings, all their joys and their sorrows, and gave them a place to call their house of worship. For me, it was a joy to share time with Dede and Connie. They came and went from here together, and always with a smile and warm hug. In recent times, she came alone, but with the same eager interest in my family and the temple. I have a favorite memory of looking into the sanctuary right from here, towards the back on the left, and seeing Dede, big sunglasses on, enjoying the music and probably waiting for this closing prayer so that she and her friends could leave for dinner. Dede was a person who brought people close and lifted them up. It was her passion for life, her eye for fashion and fun, and her can-do spirit that saw only possibilities. That's why laughter filled your time together, and tears of joy flowed down your faces when you were with her. You accumulated so many memories over so many years. Her joy was constant. Only once did it ever really fade, when Connie died. It shifted her orientation to the world, and she needed to find her groove again. She did find her way again with the help of her family and her friends, because Dede never gave up. She got dressed, she went out, and she got on with life. Even illness rarely kept her down. During recent weeks when the Passover holiday began, Lauren arranged the whole Seder to be at Dede's home so she could participate. Tired but eager to be at the table, she did it. She sat until the end of the evening. Why? Because Dede never wanted to miss a beat, not a moment, and not an opportunity to give her family everything she had. When Dede died, all of us were saddened and grief-stricken. We said that it was an end of an era and uniquely great times, and all of that is true. But it's also true, just as we spoke about together yesterday, that there wasn't anything more that anyone needed that they didn't already have from Dede, an enormously selfless, deeply loving, and exceedingly joyful soul. Our sadness is simply human. Who wouldn't want a little bit more? Dede would have surely welcomed more. But to be human is to have limits, even for Dede. And so let us be grateful for what we were given, for what we continue to have, and for what we're still able to do and to be as we honor her life that was a gift to her family, to all of you, her friends, and the community. As we remember Dede, let us recall Dede and Connie in all the seasons of our life for the blessings they were always together. Amen. There are so many ways that we'll spend collecting memories of Dede, but there's nothing more precious than hearing words from her family. First, I'd like to call on Lauren Friedman, her daughter, to share her words.
There is nothing in life quite like a mother and a daughter. To say my mom and I are close doesn't even do our relationship justice. If you know me, then you know that my life, my days, my every moment was connected to my mom. We talked multiple times a day, every day till the very end of her life. She knew everything going on in my life, and I knew everything going on in hers. I valued her input, her perspective, and she valued mine. I knew the end was near when my mom did not want to leave home. She always lived life on the go. She was always ready for anything and looking for the next outing, up for any adventure, whether big or small, ready to go to the finest event, dressed in her impeccable style, or simply ready to stroll the grocery stores, buying ice cream and cookies. Just say when, and Dede was there. I learned so much from my mom. Here are some of the things she taught me. Family. Family was everything to my mom, everything. She made sure her children and grandchildren were cherished, celebrated, and cared for, from birthdays to events, and even her last Passover dinner several weeks ago. She planned all the details and made sure we celebrated everything. She insisted that things happened. She made sure she was there and everyone was included, and she relished every moment together. She was excited to welcome her first grandbaby in the fall. Great grandbaby. Fashion. My mom loved to shop and had an incredible style. She loved to plan things and made sure she had the perfect thing to wear, with beautiful clothes, exquisite style, high collars, dramatic beads, necklaces, and she topped it off with her signature glasses. I know you all can see her now. Mom would find any excuse to go to Saks with Sissy to pick out the perfect outfit. She loved it. Decorating, wallpaper, flowers, and more. If you know her and me, then you know she loved wallpaper, fabric, and traditional style. Loads of color, loads of pattern, antiques, and fine things. She loved to buy flowers, arrange them, put them in bud vases with the perfect rose. What a special 70th birthday party we had for everyone. We had with everyone leaving with their own personal flower arrangement. She loved these things and creating these spaces from her home on Longwoods to her lake house and then now her apartment. This was my mom. On the subjects of flowers, I like to say Mom saw life through rose-colored glasses. Always the optimist, always taking the high road, facing adversity with grit and grace. Entertaining. I am sure most of you were entertained by Mom and Dad. They had the most famous Christmas Eve party in town. After all, the Jews needed somewhere to eat on Christmas Eve, and my mom and dad were ready to throw a bash and invited everyone. The best food and plenty of it, with the piano player going in the background. She entertained constantly and was dressed and went out to dinner every night with friends or family. She lived life to the fullest with everyone. Cakes and cookies. My mom loved sweets. She loved cookies and she loved cakes too. Always up for a trip to Moeller's and happy to buy cookies for everyone. Searching for the next best cookie or cake was a sport for her. She trained me well, and she did hate onions, absolutely hated them. You might even catch her asking a waiter if there were onions in her dessert, and she was serious. No onions in her cookies, please. Thank you all. Thank you to those who loved her and helped her. Thank you to Sherry, who has been dedicated to helping our family for the last 43 years. My mom secretly adored her, as she often affectionately referred to her as the mouth. Thank you to Myrna, who loved my mom dotingly for 19 years. Alice is the newest to come alongside my mom, so sweet and patient as my mom declined. And lastly, many heartfelt thanks to Monzi, her best friend, who was with her for every day for the last 16 years. I feel like poor Monzi goes to bed every night hearing my mom call her every 5 minutes from across the house. Thank you to each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart for caring for my mom. I could not have done this without you. I have been overwhelmed with all the sweet and loving notes and texts that I have received over the last couple of days. So in closing, I wanted to share a few of those notes, as I think they really capture the essence of what an amazing woman and mother she was. First one. I can't stop thinking of you all and your wonderful mom. As I have said before, I hope I have been as good to my grandkids as your mom was to your kids. She was my best role model. Another one reads, your parents are the most famous, loved people I know. Memory after memory. They made the world go round. They brought so much happiness to everyone they touched. I hope as grandparents ourselves, we can do just half of what your parents have taught, shown us, and how they loved their family and millions of friends. Their humbleness, laughter, love, and generosity. They taught me more than you can imagine. My days will be different now. The phone calls with her will stop. The advice has been given and received, but the tradition will live on through us all. We will celebrate, we will include others as she did. We will decorate, we will shop, eat cake and cookies. I will miss her terribly. Mom, rest in peace. Give Dad a hug and kiss for me. I love you.
I'd like to invite Dede's son, Stephen, to come and share his words.
Okay. All right. Right. Well, first of all, I've read the speech. It's 1.5 pages, about 50 times, and it's never sounded the same yet. So what you get is what you get. I want to first thank everybody who's come today to celebrate the life of my mother, more widely known as Mame, a name given to her by her grandchildren. She truly is the last matriarch, the definition, being a woman who has earned the respect and gained the wisdom to be named as head of the family. Mama certainly fulfilled this destination, and she exhibited all the traits of a powerful woman who supported her family and friends. Mom earned great respect from the family, showing moral authority, sharing her wisdom, contributing to her causes, numerous charities, and showering us with her unending love. She was always ready to contribute to the arts, medical institutions, the homeless, and so much more. She was so good-hearted and eager to lift up those around her. Now that I have addressed the complimentary items, we all know that she had a bit of a wild side. She may have appeared somewhat naive, however, this is a bit deceptive, as she was quite a free spirit, exhibiting occasional spontaneous behavior, much to her mother's dismay, who was on the tougher side. However, this proved to be a plus to me, as I think this livelier, amazing side of Mom gave her the patience and the ability to deal with me, as I was not the best behaved child. Without going into detail, as many of us know, some referred to me as the problem child. Of course, that was her fault, as I have her blood. Anyway, everything turned out fine, and she sent me to boarding school, assuring me that I was just way too smart and intelligent to attend local schools. Per unusual, she was right. Mom held our family together with strong love and remarkable strength. She nurtured each of us, and generosity goes without saying. She blessed us all. Her life was filled with purpose, fun, and devotion. She wiped away tears, always made things better, and laughed us through it all. Thank you, Mom. You will be missed. I love you.
And it's a privilege to invite her granddaughter, Megan Friedman Holtgrave, to share her words.
As I stand here today, faced with the reality I've long dreaded, I can't help but feel the weight of sorrow and disbelief.
I'll try to do these words justice. Mame was supposed to be eternal, a steadfast presence in my life. While struggling with the unfairness of you being gone, I will forever hold on to the countless memories we've shared, each of them a cherished one. In my eyes, Mame wore many hats, but not physical hats, because we all knew that would mess up her hair. Mame wasn't just a grandmother, she was my confidant, my partner in crime, my best friend. Her presence shaped not only my life, but the life of all who know her or knew her.
To know me was to know Mame. Every friend, coworker, boss has heard me talk about my grandmother. I shared Mame with everyone. Some of my closest friends even had their own relationship with Mame, drawn to her magnetic personality and boundless love. Mame embodied the true meaning of grace. She never met a stranger. Wherever we ventured, people gravitated towards her, noticed by her famous glasses and drawn in by her infectious personality. She taught me the importance of lifelong friendships, proper etiquette, fairness, and being kind. I could be so lucky to be a woman of such class and sophistication. Mame was never one to miss an occasion, nor the simple joys in between. From birthdays to graduations, bar mitzvahs, and even our wedding day, her unwavering presence filled every milestone with warmth and love. She rejoiced in my accomplishments, her pride often manifesting in tearful displays, even when the intricacies escaped her. When David and I received the news that I was pregnant, she was the person I wanted to tell most. Well, I can't believe it, and it pains me that you won't be there to meet our son. I find solace in the belief that you and Peepaw will watch over from above, guiding and protecting our growing family. I will make it my mission to be as amazing of a mother as she was. Fun is synonymous with Mame. She reveled in the simple pleasures of luncheons, getting her nails done, going to the beauty shop, and shopping excursions, infusing each moment with her love for life and adventure. Our shopping escapades, whether preparing for camp, picking out birthday invitations, or my favorite, the latest fashion finds, these were the epitome of fun. Often, to the dismay of my mother, I would find any and every excuse to take my grandmother shopping, especially when it came to clothes. While we often went to Saks Fifth Avenue to shop for her, I also dragged her to every random boutique in the city, as well as TJ Maxx. Shopping with Mame was the best, because unlike my mother, Mame never said no. Mame's impeccable style, paired with her honest opinions and unwavering support, made every outing a cherished memory and are the reasons that I'm pursuing our passion for retail. In her absence, I find solace in knowing that Mame's spirit lives on within me, a guiding presence of love, laughter, and unwavering support. Though she may not walk beside me, her legacy of love, kindness, and generosity will endure for eternity. So to Mame, my idol, inspiration, and the best grandmother that ever existed, I will miss you, and I will forever be grateful for our time together and the lessons you taught me. Rest easy, I love you, and make sure to tell Peepaw I say hello and that we love and miss him too. Thanks.
And I'd like to invite the other grandchildren to come forward, and Miller and Steve Jr. will share their words.
This is Steven Jr. He's the eldest grandchild, and I'm Miller. I'm Lauren's eldest child. As the grandchildren of such an incredible woman, we again decided to get together to pay our respects and honor the incredible woman we all knew as Mame. We talked and laughed as we jogged our memory of all the amazing times we were fortunate enough to spend with her. As we recapped the numerous sporting events, dance recitals, graduations, and award ceremonies, we quickly realized two things. One, we were not very athletic, and two, Mame never missed a single event. As we discussed what Mame meant to us as grandkids, there were certain things about her that came up quickly. She was the worst diet partner, never turning away a dessert unless it had onions on it. Mame always said, life is too dang short and fun to diet. And she never wavered from that. It is safe to say she made dessert a requirement in this family. She always had a hard time saying no to us, and people rarely said no to her, unless you were the Baskin-Robbins employee who kicked her out for asking for too many samples.
As many of you know, Mame had several interesting and equally hilarious quirks that made her one of a kind. She was a terrible driver. Just ask George at the Shell station how many times he had to fix the Bentleys, aka Chrysler minivans. Turns out you can't put diesel in a minivan. All of us grandkids have had such fond memories of Mame picking us up in her stunning blue minivans and taking us to the gas station just down the road. She treated us to scratch-off tickets that never won and bought us snacks our parents wouldn't let us have. Mame was always over-prepared, often keeping a stash of tissues and chapstick in her bra in case we needed it. Despite always having tissues with her, that didn't stop her from having a mountain of napkins under the table at dinner at every meal. Mame was also a fashion icon and a shopaholic. She was always wearing her famous oversized sunglasses, both inside and outside. She always sported her big poof hairdo, which she liked to call her helmet, and her crazy big bracelets, necklaces, and clip-on earrings made enough noise for you to hear her coming. Mame was known as the cool and fun grandmother to all of our friends growing up, all of whom called her Mame too. We took pride in our friends' jealousy of her, but loved sharing her because many of them considered her to be their honorary grandmother. Mame and Peepaw set the bar high for what grandparents should be. We can only hope to be half as good as grandparents as they were to us.
Mame was always our biggest cheerleader, even when she probably shouldn't have been. For example, she had Brooke convinced she had a good singing voice after seeing just one solo performance. Let's just say we should all be relieved that she did not take up a music career. Mame was the one we'd always run to whenever we had a disagreement with our parents. No matter what that disagreement was, she was always on our side. As she saw it, we could do no wrong. Despite all of our best efforts, the one thing we couldn't get her to do was pick her favorite grandchild. She loved us all the same and spent as much time with us as possible to make us each feel special in our own individual ways. No one cared more about what was going on in our lives than Mame did. She often referred to work as that four-letter word, and she hated the fact that our jobs interfered with having fun with her. She never could grasp Lindsay's career choice as an environmental biologist. She would say things like, "I just don't understand why Lindsay has to go out there and roll around in all the mud." If there was anything that Mame knew how to do incredibly well, it was having fun with her family. We are so grateful to have shared all of the birthdays, dinners, family vacations, Jewish holidays, and all of the other experiences in between. As we've grown older and our lives got increasingly busier, Mame always found a way to bring us together as a family. Whether it was weekends at Walden, her annual Christmas parties, or the many family cruises we took together, Mame was always at the center of it all. While Mame leaves a big void behind, the bond we share as grandchildren will allow us to carry on her legacy and preserve all the fun traditions she started in our family.
We will miss you, Mame, and hope that you're looking down on us with Peepaw with a J&B on the rocks in hand. We hope we continue to make you proud. Thank you for everything. Love your grandchildren, Stephen Jr., Brooke, Lindsay, Miller, Megan, and David, Emma, Buddy, McKenna, and Junior.
Beautiful words. And we know how proud and grateful she would be for your words and for your feelings this day. And as we take a moment for ourselves to collect our own thoughts and memories in a moment of silence, we'll do so as we invite Cantor Feibush to sing a prayer of peace, one that we sing often in this space, Shalom Rav, our hope for today and tomorrow.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael עמך תשים לעולם. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
O God, you give us loved ones, and you make them the strength of our life and the light of our eyes. They depart and leave us bereft on a lonely way, but you, God, are the living fountain from which our healing flows. To you the stricken look for comfort, and the sorrow-laden for consolation. O God, we see life as through windows that open on eternity. We see that love endures and the soul endures, as you, O God, endure forever. We see that the years are more than grass that withers, more than flowers that fade. They weave a timeless pattern in a world that is the dwelling place of your love and your glory. We continue with El Malei Rachamim, a prayer of God's compassion. If you're able, please rise.
El Malei Rachamim Shochen B'Meromim Hamitzei Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei HaShekhinah Im Kedoshim Ultehorim Kizohar Harakia Mazhirim V'nishmat ha'yekara Shehalcha Barachamim, Harachamim, Yastireha beseter knafav leolamah. Vitzror, Vitzror HaChaim et Nishmata Adonai hu nachalata V'tanuch b'shalom al mishkavah V'nomar Amen.
Compassionate God, eternal Spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to our dearest Dede Weil, who has entered eternity. O God of mercy, let her find refuge in your eternal presence and let her soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God is her inheritance. May she rest in peace, and let us say, Amen. Interment will follow immediately at Beth Israel Memorial Garden on Antoine. As well, this evening and tomorrow evening at 6 p.m., all are welcome for time together to remember, to lift up memories, and to share at the Montebello in her home, Unit 184. As well, on Friday night here in the congregation at 6:30 p.m., during our Sabbath service, we'll memorialize the name of our beloved once more. And at this time, as pallbearers are prepared, please remain in your places so that the clergy may exit first, leading our dear one from the sanctuary, and our service will continue at the cemetery. This concludes our service.